legalizing marijuana. A radical idea 4 years ago, not so radical today.
The legalization of recreational marijuana has been an issue political leaders and voters have been dealing with since 2012, when Colorado became the first state to legalize recreational marijuana. Since that time, 11 states have legalized recreational marijuana use. On November 6, 2018, our home state of Michigan passed Proposal 1, allowing the legal manufacturing, sale, and use of recreational marijuana. This proposal inspired us to dig deeper into the history of marijuana, the arguments supporting both sides of the marijuana argument, and what current government leaders are doing about recreational marijuana. Marijuana was first introduced to the United States in the 1600s due to its ability to be made into rope, sails, and clothing. In the mid-1800s, marijuana was used in many over-the-counter drugs and was used to treat opioid addiction and other diseases. In the early 1900s, Mexican immigrants to the U.S. began using the drug recreationally, causing the public to view the drug in a bad light. By 1925, more than half of U.S. states had passed laws prohibiting marijuana use. In the 1930s, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics fought to have the drug criminalized.
So we've doubled our efforts in the city of Boston. We can virtually we're starting to make a number of arrests.
In the 1960s, marijuana use rose among young adults and social activists. By 1970, Congress made marijuana a Schedule I drug, putting it on the same level as LSD and heroin. As the 2000s came around, more and more states began to legalize the use of marijuana for both medicinal and recreational uses.
Legalize adult use cannabis. Stop the disproportionate criminal impact on communities of color, and let's create an industry that empowers the poor communities that paid the price and not the rich corporations who come in to make a profit.
The legalization of marijuana is a commonly debated subject, with both sides proposing different evidence to support their opinions. Proponents of legalization argue that legalizing marijuana can decrease the amount of illegal marijuana sales. They also argue that legalization will reduce the number of people who are incarcerated for nonviolent marijuana-related crimes, reducing strain on the prison system. They also note the profound effect legalization can have on the economy, as well as the health benefits that come with marijuana.
They verify that it's beneficial for help with cancer and a number of other medical benefits. And they all need to wake up that we know, and we're tired of their crap, because we the people and Weed for Warriors say we the people now.
But there are also downsides to marijuana legalization. Those who oppose argue that legalization leads to increased use by youth, which can prevent proper brain growth. They also say that the economic boost provided by legalization is negated by the increased need for expensive emergency room visits and addiction clinics. They also use an increased risk of impaired drivers to argue against legalization.
Studies indicate that between 4 to 14% of drivers involved in accidents, fatal or otherwise, had THC in their system. Marijuana decreases a driver's response time, awareness, and perception of time and speed, all of which are necessary for safe driving.
Many of the presidential candidates for the upcoming 2020 election have stated their opinions on the legalization of marijuana. At the National Action Network Legislative and Policy Conference, Senator Elizabeth Warren shared a statistic highlighting the racial inequality in marijuana-related arrests and states what she believes should be done.
Blacks and whites use marijuana at about the same rates, but that African Americans are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than whites. So I have a bipartisan bill, Republicans and Democrats, that would end federal arrests for marijuana in states that have acted to build a more thoughtful and rational law on drug possession.
While candidates such as Warren and Bernie Sanders are in support of the legalization of marijuana, others in the presidential race disagree. President Trump believes that marijuana should only be used for medical purposes, not recreationally.
I say it's bad. Medical marijuana is another thing, but I think it's bad, and I feel strongly about that.
No matter what side of the marijuana argument you fall on, it is an important discussion for our nation to have, and it will have a large effect on the future of our nation. By listening to everybody's opinion and doing research, we can come to a conclusion that will benefit all Americans, and that is our vision for 2020. It is bigger than just marijuana. It is about looking at the issues our nation faces in a logical and factual way in order to make the best decisions we can make as a country. So we urge all Americans, regardless of age, race, or political views, to learn everything they can about the issues our nation faces. By doing this, we can make 2020 an amazing year for everybody in our nation.